shall rejoice and be glad in that. We're going to get some toys for the kids today. Good morning, sir, and good morning, ma'am. I'm a little outspoken at 60 years old, but I'm polite. There's a lot of people here today. Public work. You work for the county. You make your number one. You got a pay raise. Everybody did. All the county employees told us positive allowance. Pay raise.
Can you go local admin?
No, I'm going to talk about it.
Not without labs. And it won't let me connect to my Wi-Fi either.
I'm going to go plug it in back there. I think they can probably just start and keep it working, but what the hell's up with the audio over there?
What's that?
What's going on with it? Did Erica's not work?
No, it didn't.
Do you need me to go get my laptop? Honestly, I can.
We might.
Okay, you work on that. I'll grab mine.
Good morning. We're going to get started this Tuesday, May 21st at 9:30 this morning. We'll begin with our roll call. Clerk Hannah.
Commissioner Henry.
Here.
Commissioner Tedesco.
Here.
Commissioner Pinter.
Here. Will you all join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Do we have a motion this morning to approve our agenda?
IT. I need you. So does Chaz.
Well, let's start with a verbal.
Okay.
So,
Moved.
okay, there's a motion by Commissioner Henry and a second by Commissioner Tedesco. Let's do a voice vote.
Commissioner Henry.
Yes.
Commissioner Tedesco.
Yes.
Commissioner Pinter.
Yes. Okay, we have a lot to celebrate this morning. We'll start with our proclamation on National Public Works Week. And you can't walk out the door without touching or seeing something that Public Works has a hand in. The Adams County Public Works Department is here to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our residents. Specifically, I want to honor your work during our recent rainstorms. After last summer, many of us never wanted to see another drop of water fall from the sky, but your new waterway artwork has celebrated and put in a place of honor how our waterways enrich our community, while we all know that water can equally be destructive. So thank you for always putting our safety and our welfare first. Meeting with many of you early this morning to see the new artwork, I'd like to thank Byron Fanning, where's Byron, and our public arts team and our cultural arts team for helping make that art happen. Paul Brokering is a well-known architectural photographer and called his work Adams County Waterways. It's now on display in Public Works suites, their conference rooms, and common spaces. If you have a chance, check it out. They had burritos this morning. They were delightful. Those might be gone at this moment. But what a great way to kick off the celebration. We want to thank you for all you've done during our crazy storms and what you do every day to serve this community. We have a proclamation this morning to be read by Commissioner Tedesco.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Today is National Public Works Week, May 19th through the 25th, 2024. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities, and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being to the people of Adams County, Colorado. And whereas these infrastructure facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals, who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water utilities, and other facilities essential to our residents. And whereas it is the public interest for residents and the leaders in Adams County, Colorado, to have knowledge of the importance of public works and public works programs in their community. And whereas National Public Works Week provides an opportunity to raise awareness about the important contributions of public works professionals and the importance of investing in our infrastructure. And whereas National Public Works Week is celebrated annually during the third week of May to coincide with the birthday of President John F. Kennedy, who championed the importance of public works and infrastructure. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners in the County of Adams, State of Colorado, proclaims May 19th through the 25th, 2024, as National Public Works Week, signed by your 5 county commissioners.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to invite up Brian Staley, the Director of Public Works, to the podium.
Thank you, Board, for taking the time today to recognize the public works professionals that are here with us today, and recognize the hard work that they do throughout the year. Here at Adams County, Public Works are the Public Works team. I apologize. I'll collect myself and continue. Here at Adams County, we design, build, and maintain our roadways and drainage systems. Public Works professionals are part of a team of first responders that serve the residents of Adams County. And never has this been more true than in last year's timely response to the 2023 spring floods. Our communications team has produced a video that we're about to debut, possibly, that highlights and showcases the work that we've done together over the past year. So thank you very much for the recognition and for the proclamation today.
Flooding. This is what some of the folks out here are dealing with on their roadways.
Spring 2023 was one
county in particular. So. Whole lot of.
Stand by.
A whole lot of flooding. Crews have their work cut out for them this weekend. At least 23 different roads in Adams County are closed because of flooding. This is what some of the folks out here are dealing with on their roadways.
Spring 2023 was one to remember for Adams County staff and residents.
At a section that had washed out and a car had unfortunately gone into there.
Take a look at these photos. They show the historic flooding that devastated parts of the county.
We had 3 fast water rescues. There was an overwhelming amount of water.
David Tuttle and Greg Fisher were on the front lines who worked day and night to ensure safety and recovery.
I think the biggest milestone was the ability to reopen so much of the network so quickly.
It was our dedicated effort from our team. They worked several nights throughout the night. Between their hard work and overtime, they worked over 3 months straight without any days off. With that, their hard work and dedication, we owe this success to them.
We have a really amazing staff that's really dialed in already together.
Public Works Deputy Director Janet Lundquist credits her staff who were dialed in from the get-go.
I think the biggest thing that really helped us be successful in the recovery of the 2023 floods was communication. Everybody was talking to each other, sending emails, whether it was phone calls, in person, texts, just really getting an idea of what the situation was moment by moment.
Fast forward to today at 15th Avenue over Bijou Creek, recovery efforts continue.
A lot of this, whenever you're working in a creek bed in a flooded area, you do need to reach out to like the Army Corps of Engineers because they're jurisdictionally responsible for those, and we can't really do anything inside of a creek bed without their concurrence and or approval.
We're here to listen. We have the engineers here.
Recently, Adams County commissioners and staff met with residents. It's resident feedback that is a top priority to finding a solution for 15th Avenue.
This is their community. This is their road. This belongs to them.
There's a lot of individuals, including myself, that these closures impact.
Through dedication, collaboration, and community support, Adams County emerged stronger than ever. The spirit of resilience and unity continues to guide the county forward, ensuring a brighter future for everyone.
Thank you, Collins, for putting together that video that really highlights what we were up against and how much the Public Works team all rose to the occasion. And thank you, Brian Staley, for leading this group. And please stay for photos. It's not every day that we have Public Works that is able to come in and we can pause celebrations to honor you. I think my colleagues have some comments. I'll start with Commissioner Tedesco and then Commissioner Henry.
Okay. I just want to ask those who work in Public Works to please stand so we can recognize you. Commissioner Tedesco.
Thank you. I stood because I think that a lot of people in our community don't understand the Herculean feat that public service has done over these last few years. When I first came in, there was a 2013 flood. They performed amazing feats to get everything back open and everybody taken care of. There was animal rescues, there were vehicle rescues, there were human rescues. This department throughout my term, and I know before and I know continuing after, has outperformed the expectations of this department every single time. In our latest flood, the amount of work and overtime and dedication that this department has put together to meet the need of our constituency on a timely and staying within a budget that is reasonable for the county and coming up with out of the box ideas to resolve these issues is, in my opinion, unbelievably outstanding. And I wanted to recognize you and give you the respect for the work that you all have done. And that's why I stood, because without you, we are not Adams County. But with you, we are Adams County, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Well said. Our next recognition is a little bit of deja vu. Matt Rivera, our Director of Community Safety and Wellbeing, is back again this morning after winning a statewide award last week to receive recognition for another award. Can we have Matt and Deputy Director of Community Safety and Wellbeing, Beth Torkinson, come to the podium and bring their giant award?
It is giant.
Is that an eagle? What is that?
It's the Juan Eagle Award.
It's the Juan Eagle Award. Oh, you know what? That was in the remarks. Okay, so, but I thought Juan was the name of the eagle, like, Jose or Emily. Many of you know about our Toolshed program. We have 2 trailers full of lawn equipment that residents can rent to make sure our neighborhood properties stay in compliance with code or for things like neighborhood cleanups. The first Toolshed became available in 2021, and because of the soaring demand, we've added a second trailer in 22. We are thrilled to announce that Adams County Code Compliance Team, a division of Community Safety and Wellbeing, received the prestigious Juan Eagle Award for this program. The Juan Eagle Award is presented yearly by the Colorado Association of Code Enforcement Officials, a member jurisdiction that has planned and successfully held community events that embody the values of code enforcement to protect health and safety of residents while promoting good community involvement and values. Matt and Beth, we invite you to share your thoughts and would like to honor your team as well. So whoever would like to start.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for taking the time to recognize the Neighborhood Services Code Compliance Team for receiving the 2024 Juan Eagle Award from the Colorado Association of Code Enforcement Officials. As you had stated, this Toolshed program began in 2021, and it really was spearheaded by Gail Moon, our Code Compliance Supervisor. The Toolshed really started to provide complimentary access to yard and gardening tools in unincorporated Adams County to assist residents in maintaining their yards. In the inaugural year of 2021, the Toolshed had only 9 reservations. In 2022, we had 66 reservations, and in 2023, with the support of the Board of County Commissioners and the executive leadership team, we added an additional tool trailer and expanded access to all of Adams County residents. We ended 2023 with a 208% increase, with a total of 203 reservations, which included 28 neighborhood and community events. The Code Compliance and Neighborhood Services team delivers and picks up all of these tools and the complete trailer to residents in the community. The amount of work this team does is incredible on top of their other job duties. This program also employs seasonal staff with a preference with those with lived experience who lend valuable experience, expand their job skills, and earn a livable wage. This program has seen remarkable growth and showcases the full support and collaboration within the Neighborhood Services team. I'm proud to work next to all of these amazing team members, and this award really showcases the service excellence, innovation, and community impact of the Toolshed program. Thanks again for the recognition of this amazing and talented team. Thank you.
I'll just let you know that the Juan Eagle Award is named after a former president of our association, Juan Flores. So that's how it started.
Thank you. So it is a proper name. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay. Well, Gail, while you guys could stand up here, could the whole code enforcement team stand up so we can honor you? Thank you. And I believe Commissioner Henry has some remarks, so don't run just yet.
I just want to thank the code enforcement and let people out there know that the name code enforcement is a little scary, but these guys are there to help residents get through sometimes the toughest times of their lives. And I have a story from a few years back where code enforcement was called on this home. The code enforcer showed up, found out that it was an elderly man whose wife was terminally ill. It was in the summer where the temperatures were reaching 100 degrees and they had no air conditioning. He had 3 or 4 fans on his wife to try to keep her comfortable. What they did is they were able to connect them with the services where they were able to get free air conditioning. They also found out that they had no groceries in their home. So in their own hearts, they went out to the grocery store and bought them groceries and brought them in, and then gave them information on how to get food. So that they have big hearts. They're there to help people. They're there to make our neighborhoods better and safer and cleaner. So I thank you all for the work that you do. I know it's hard. You don't get the recognition that you should get. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Commissioner Henry. Commissioner Tedesco, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just real quick, it's becoming a habit seeing all of you up here getting awards every week. So I'll be interested to see what you win next week. So, but congratulations, you guys do deserve it. Thank you.
I think that's your congratulations. Please stick around for a photo and obviously keep the Juan Eagle available for anyone who wants a selfie with such a glorious.
It's very heavy.
And your names are on the side?
It's just, so it's a traveling trophy. Once a year, the award is given out. So we get to keep it for 1 year and then we'll give it back to the association. They give it out. So it just has our name on one of the plaques for our department.
Okay. Congratulations. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like the Stanley Cup. Yeah, for code enforcement. Finally, this morning, we recognize the America 250 and Colorado 150 Commission and History Colorado. In 2026, Colorado will observe 2 significant anniversaries: the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States and the 150th anniversary of the Colorado statehood. The Commission is directed to develop and promote plans for activities between July 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2026, including historical historical activities, publication of historical documents, public ceremonies, educational activities for Colorado youth, and other commemorative events to be supported by comprehensive marketing and tourism campaigns. Adams County has the distinction of being the first county to recognize, present a proclamation recognizing the Commission's effort. Commissioner Henry, will you please read the proclamation?
Thank you. Whereas the year 2026 marks the 250th anniversary of signing the Declaration of Independence, and whereas the year 2026 marks Colorado's 150th anniversary of statehood, and whereas Adams County, founded in 1901, has contributed proudly and significantly to the history of our nation and our state for more than 122 years. And whereas in 2016, the United States Congress established by joint resolution the American 250 Commission to encourage observation of the 250 years of our nation's existence. And whereas the Colorado legislators established the America 250 Colorado 150 Commission with the passage of Senate Bill 2022-011. And the Commission has determined its mission and purpose is to celebrate Colorado by acknowledging the completeness of our shared history, honor that which makes Colorado unique, and strive toward a more perfect union. And whereas it is appropriate that Adams County engages fully with our past and looks toward a shared future, and whereas Adams County encourages its citizens to create and participate in programs that will commemorate the history of our city, our state, and our nation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of the County of Adams, State of Colorado, hereby proclaims that Adams County will fully engage in commemorating activities leading up to the and during the Commission's stated length of observation, July 4th, 2025, through December 31st, 2026. Be it further resolved that the Board urges community members to take advantage of the resources available from the American 250 Commission, the American 250-Colorado 150 Commission, and Adams County to observe. Oh, this is a tough word. How do you say it?
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, how do you say it?
Sesquicentennial.
See, you guys have no idea. It's like 15 letters in this word. Anniversary by coordinating, commemorating events, planning historical activities, providing opportunities for public discourse, creating new scholarships around Colorado's complete history, creating new educational opportunities, and by seeking opportunities for historic preservation, Adams County pledges to uplift, support, and generate commemorative opportunities signed by all 5 commissioners. I have one comment. I remember the 200-year anniversary and the 100-year, not to date myself, but yeah, I think I was 3, maybe. No, I was really much older than that, but yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And we'd like to ask Honorable Judge Gary Jackson and Dr. Stephanie Hartman, co-chairs of the committee, to come to the podium and share remarks. I think, Dr. Hartman, are you up first?
I am. Thank you so much for having us. As co-chair of the America 250 Colorado 150 Commission, I am delighted that Adams County is the first county in Colorado to declare their intent to participate in the 2026 commemoration of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the 150th anniversary of Colorado joining the Union. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for Colorado communities to recognize our shared history and create moments of unity in our state. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I can't say that word either, but thank you, commissioners, for having us here. My name is Gary Jackson. I'm a retired Denver County Court judge, senior judge. I'm also a native of Denver County and have lived in Denver County for 78 years. I've been visiting Adams County and its court systems from 1976 until 2012 when I went on the bench. So 36 years I've been coming to Adams County. I'm honored to be one of the 15 commissioners celebrating and commemorating Colorado's 150-year statehood and the 250-year Declaration of Independence that will take place in 2026. Now, I'm old enough to remember 1976. And what I want to remind you of, in 1976, for that 100-year celebration, on August 1st, we had the Big Thompson flood.
Yeah.
So your public works people remember well 1976 and the work that they did for this particular county, the ones that are old enough. But we are so glad that Adams County is the first county to make this proclamation. We look forward to the celebrations in 2026, the commemoration of our shared histories of all the citizens of Colorado. And we really appreciate your having us here and having this proclamation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Judge. I think that you guys have the honor of being our first photo. That's since how we do it. The last proclamation becomes the first photo. So if we could bring the proclamation down and we'll join you for a photo, and then we'll do Toolshed and then Public Works in reverse. All right, all right. What a good morning of celebration of all of the different ways, many of the different ways that Adams County staff should show up to serve community. Thank you to everyone who participated in this morning's proclamations and award ceremonies. It's really nice to have a good full morning. We do have public comment this morning. Clerk Hannah, do we have anyone signed up?
We do have 2 people signed up for a general comment today.
Okay, so this will be for a general public comment. We do actually have land use matters. So if you're here to comment on an individual land use case before this administration or before this commission, go ahead and hold your remarks to that case. But we'll start with general public comment. To begin, who's our first name on the list?
Naomi Decker.
Okay, Ms. Decker, come on down, introduce yourself, give your address, and you will have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Naomi Decker. I live at 6851 Huron, and I'm here because with some email problems and things, I've been trying to get information to Steve Odorizio about the problems that I've had for over 4 years trying to get the violations in the neighborhood corrected, and so I'm here to kind of throw water on the code violations that have been overlooked for over 4 years. And so I just wanted to let you know that during arbitration for my property, I was granted almost 10% deduction in my property value because of the violations overlooked and illegalities that are in my community. So I didn't know if the email was reaching, but I have it now here, and I just wanted to present it to Mr. Odorizio.
Okay, well, you can hand things to the clerk if for anything for the board. Do you have any additional comment? You have about 1 minute, 50 seconds left.
Oh, no, that's fine.
Okay, Clerk Hannah will take it from you. Thank you.
The next person is Matt McReed.
All right, Matt McReed, come on down, introduce yourself, and give your address. You will also have 3 minutes.
Mac McRae, 9921 Josephine Street, Thornton. Steve, how you doing? Okay. It's good to see you again. I go before various municipalities, including Thornton and Aurora and Denver and North Glen, and I ask that the commissioners or the city council members appropriate a small amount of money for stuffed animals for each of the patrol cars. So I'm here to carry on what I originally talked with Sheriff Regenborn about. Sheriff Clapp indicated there's approximately 115 sheriff deputy vehicles, and when you equip those vehicles with stuffed animals like the state patrol does, longitudinal studies that are peer-reviewed show that that's a good interaction. The kids don't come away thinking they're being stereotyped, and they don't continue with this concept of defunding the police department, because whoever came up with that idea, oh dear Lord. Preteens and teens don't want a stuffed bear. I would like to ask you to appropriate about $2,500 for 3 stuffed bears. You can order them at about $7 a piece. That's 345 animals, stuffed animals, which comes out to a little less than $2,400. I don't have an answer for preteens and teens, because if you give them gift cards to Amazon or to McDonald's, which is what they want, that runs into an accounting issue and cash, and it's got value to it. So maybe video games or something. But I do want to say, I wrote this proposal up. I gave it to Sheriff Claps, and that is about 9 months ago. And when I asked him what happened to it, he said he had given it to some organization, a written proposal. I asked him what organization. He said he didn't remember. Did you follow up? No, I didn't have time to follow up. He hasn't had time in 9 months. He would be the one that would have to implement this. But if you give him these toys, I would hope that he would do the right thing. I just want to recognize Deputy Tran and Deputy Clean for all the work that they do, the extraordinary and exemplary work that they do. And you deserve a pay raise, ma'am. And I know that I know Chris doesn't want a promotion, but those are two of the greatest deputies I've ever met in my life, and they're here all day long. I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you for listening to my concerns, and hopefully you'll allocate that kind of money. It's only $2,400. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you. Who's next?
That was everyone signed up.
Okay, so if there's someone who didn't sign up who has public comment that is general in nature, this is your moment. Come on down, introduce yourself, and give your name and address. And you will have 3 minutes.
Good morning. Name's Ken Ramirez, 13080 Piccadilly Road. I know that the month of June is coming up where the county is going to celebrate diversity, and what worries me about the sexualization of children and mutilization of children in that month is a big concern of mine. But, I actually came up here today to talk about how God is creating an army out in Israel. There's a prophecy in Ezekiel 37 where it talks that he has a valley of dry bones, where he raises this nation out of a dead country, which Israel was for 1900 years. And now there's this army that is going to be there for the world to contend with. And what I'm seeing in today's news is that there's a war coming, with Israel. And if I have the prophecies right on it, there's going to be over 2 billion people die in the first part of this period of time. And a lot of it is because of the blasphemy that the world is doing with this Juneteenth month, not Juneteenth, the sexualization with the Pride Month. It's blasphemous, and there is a evidence of Israel growing a huge army, and it's a resurrection of a nation that's coming to judge us. It's not just for people to hide under the rug anymore. You got to look at it and see it. I mean, because we're talking billions of people. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else from the public who would like to comment on any topic? You have 3 minutes. Okay, so that concludes public comment. We do have elected official communication. Do we have any of my colleagues who would like to make a comment this morning? Commissioner Tedesco, let's get started.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to real quick say, we're coming up on the weekend. Next Monday, I believe it's next Monday, right?
Time flies, but it is Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to say happy Memorial Day to everybody. I hope everybody comes out. Just so you know, we're doing an event at the USS Colorado in Riverdale Regional Park. I believe I saw Gabe in here somewhere. Where's Gabe? Did he leave? Oh, he took off. Friday morning, if you look on our social media, I know that Nikki has all the information put out on social media. We're going to be placing out flowers. You're more than welcome to come down and place a flower along our wall for any of those that you want to remember, family members, friends, loved ones, whatever that may be. And I hope to see you out there, and I hope you enjoy the memorial over the weekend. So thank you.
Anything else, colleagues? Commissioner Doricio.
Did Miss Decker leave? I'm going to be connecting Miss Decker with some of our staff. She had some questions about code enforcement, so if we can make sure we can connect her with folks.
Our award-winning staff.
Our award-winning staff. That's exactly right. And I just want to say thank you again to code enforcement and to Public Works for all of their work. There's a lot of work you guys do that people notice it when it's not done, and then they definitely don't say thank you enough for when it is done. And I just want you to know that the board up here, all 5 of the folks that serve on this board, are extremely grateful for all the work that you guys do. And so thank you very much. And thank you for keeping our community connected, thriving, and driving. Thanks.
Brilliant. Well done. Okay, we do have a full consent calendar this morning. Do we have a motion on the consent calendar? I believe the technology is working. Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. The consent calendar passes unanimously, which brings us to new business. Senior Deputy County Manager Alicia Reese is serving as County Manager this morning. What do you have for us, Ms. Reese?
Good morning, Commissioners. Thanks again for recognizing the couple of teams this morning. They all do such great work. We really appreciate that. We have one item on new business today. It's a resolution approving an agreement between Adams County and Myers & Sons Construction, LLC in the amount of $2.5 million for emergency repair at East 15th Avenue over West Bijou Creek, RFP number 2024.239, and Denise Beltran-Torres will present this item.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Denise Beltran, Civil Engineer with Public Works. And I'm here to present a recommendation to award a contract for the 2024 emergency repair East 15th Avenue Road over Bijou Creek. Through input and feedback from the community, this road was deemed in need of reconstruction to not impede with emergency vehicles, through traffic, and agricultural work. Due to this, a RFP was posted on BidNet, and we obtained 6 proposals from qualified contractors. Myers & Sons Construction, Inc. was selected as they have full understanding of the work, similar experience with concrete infrastructure, and a schedule that reflects our timely needs. Thus, we are requesting the contract be awarded to Myers & Sons Construction, Inc. for the emergency repair of 15th Avenue over Bijou Creek for the not to exceed amount of $2.5 million. Thank you, and any questions?
Thank you. Colleagues, do we have any questions on this item? Seeing no questions, do we have a motion?
Madam Chair, I move to approve as presented.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. That passes unanimously. County Attorney, what do you have for us this morning?
Good morning, Commissioners. If I could have a privilege for just a moment, I wanted to take a moment and thank Christy Fitch, who is leaving us and moving to the city of Boulder. But this is her last public
in the back,
hearing.
Looking embarrassed.
And I just
want to wave to the audience, Christy.
I want to thank Christy for her support at many public hearings over her years with the county, and certainly has been a huge support to me, and I know also the board. So I just wanted to take a moment and recognize her on her last public hearing. And then I will move on to official business. We do have one executive session on the agenda, and then I would also ask to add an additional. The one on the agenda is pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 24.6.4024B for the purpose of receiving legal advice regarding Head Start.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, and then the additional one would be pursuant to Colorado Revised Statute 24.6.4024B for the purpose of receiving legal advice regarding condemnation.
Move to approve.
Second.
I think we have another one to legally require Christine Fitch to stay here.
The joke in our office is that I have their souls in a jar, but she's still leaving. So it did not work.
You need to upgrade your system.
Yeah.
You need to upgrade your system. Okay, so I believe that concludes the county attorneys for this morning. And then we do have 2 land use matters. We will adjourn. What time is it? It is 10:16. Give me about 4 minutes. We'll return at 10:20. All right, let's bring us back together. We'll reconvene at 10:20. We'll start with RCU 2024-2 Golden Fields Rezone.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Leah Campbell. I'm a planner with the Community and Economic Development Department, and the case before you is RCU 2024-2 Golden Fields Rezoning, and the site is located about 4 miles southeast of the Horse Creek Reservoir. So the request is a zoning map amendment to rezone a 38-acre property from Agricultural 3 to Agricultural 1. Here is an aerial of the site. The subject site and a lot of the surrounding properties are large acre lots, primarily zoned A3, but as you can see, there are some smaller lot, single-family development lots in the area, in the general area. Here's a little bit closer up aerial view of the site. The site fronts on East 144th Ave and is about a 1/4 mile east of Pedersen Road. So here's the current zoning map. The subject site, as I mentioned, is zoned A3 along with many of the adjacent properties. And then these ones are the ones I mentioned earlier, the smaller lot, single family home developments. Those are zoned PUD. And here is the future land use map. The subject site and several of the adjacent sites have the future land use designation of agricultural small scale. And this category is intended for smaller agricultural operations that balance housing and agricultural production on the site. This future land use designation does support Agricultural 1 and Agricultural 3 zone districts. Agricultural 1 and Agricultural 2 zone districts. And then there is agricultural large scale in the area, as well as some residential low and parks and open space. So here is the criteria staff uses when reviewing a rezoning request. 1, it's consistent with the comprehensive plan. 2, it's consistent with development standards. 3, it complies to the development standards. And 4, it's harmonious and compatible to the surrounding area. So when looking at a rezone request, we have to make sure that the lot that's proposed for a rezone meets the minimum dimensional standards for the proposed zone district. So for A1, the minimum lot size is 2.5 acres, and the lot that's being proposed for the rezone is 38 acres. And the minimum lot width for the A1 zone district is 150 feet, and the lot has about 650 feet of lot width. So the lot does meet the minimum dimensional requirements for the A1 zone district. Here is the conceptual site plan. This is not under review for this portion of the case, but I did just want to give you an idea of what the overall development plan is. If this rezone is approved, the applicant plans to apply for a major subdivision and subdivide the 38 acres into 6 lots, most of them about 5.5 acres, with the largest one being about 7.5 acres. So here are photos from my site visit. Here we're looking north right into the property. Here we're looking west along East 144th Ave. Here we're looking east along East 144th Ave. And here we're looking south out from the subject property across East 144th Ave. So all property owners and occupants within 1 mile of the request were notified of the request. 45 notifications were sent and 0 comments were received. And all applicable referral agencies were notified of this request. No comments of concern were received. There were a few advisory comments, but that was more for the subdivision, so nothing of concern for this case. So in conclusion, staff believes that the request complies with the comprehensive plan as the future land use designation supports a rezone to agricultural 1. It complies with the development standards as the lot meets the minimum dimensional requirements for the A1 zone district, and it's compatible with the surrounding area, even though the adjacent lots are more large acre lots. There are some smaller scale lots in the area that are developed with single family homes. So this case was heard before the Planning Commission on April 24th. There was no public comment. The Planning Commission did have one question about the future land use designation. They asked if staff knows why this property and the several adjacent properties have the small scale future land use designation. We don't know, like, in particular why this lot and the adjacent lots has that, but we let the Planning Commission know that the formula for deciding future land use designation was primarily based on lot size, but there were some other considerations such as existing zone district, current use and ownership types. So there's something about these lots that indicated that they could have the future land use designation of agricultural small scale. So the Planning Commission did recommend approval, voting 7-0 with 4 findings of fact and 2 notes to the applicant, and staff recommends approval of the rezoning with 4 findings of fact and 2 notes. Here are the recommended findings of fact and the notes, and that concludes my presentation. I'm available for questions.
Thank you. Colleagues, do you have any questions for staff? Okay, seeing no questions, does the applicant have a presentation? come on down, introduce yourselves, and if you have a presentation, that's great, or you can just make some comments as well.
This is my wife, Angie. I'm David Anderson, and my wife, Angie Anderson.
Oh.
And we appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Do we need to state our address or anything like that? Or just whatever.
There's a lot of information about you in the application, so that is already a public record.
We are, we appreciate the opportunity to be here, but I just want to state that working with the staff has been really great, and they've been very helpful, and we are, like you say, we are going to take the 38 acres and divide it into 6 lots. The 6, even though it has A1, you can go to 2.5 lots. The thing that has governed the 5 acres basically per lot is the water use. And we did a water analysis and worked with the state of Colorado and determined that 5 acres was about the minimum that we could use on this lot. So we figured that it'd be an opportunity to draw some more people out there, and it's a beautiful landscape, and so that's kind of what our plan is. So we're moving forward with the preliminary plat submission.
Okay, thank you so much. Any questions for the applicant, colleagues? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone signed up for public comment?
We do not have anyone signed up.
I don't believe I see any members of the public, but if there is one here that I'm missing, please come on down. I know with Public Works here, it was really full, and now it's all really quiet. Okay, so seeing no members of the public for comment, colleagues, do we have any questions, comments, or is someone ready for a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for approval of RCU 2024-2 with 40 findings of fact and 2 notes.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. That passes unanimously. Congratulations. Good luck with your construction. All right. Our next land use matter.
Good morning, Commissioners. Nick Eagleson with the Community and Economic Development Department, and I'll be presenting the Pioneer Water Pipeline Expansion. This is case number RCU 2023-61. So this is a request for a major amendment to an approved conditional use permit to extend a 6 to 12 inch diameter produced water pipeline 4 additional miles. There's also a development agreement along with this that covers pre-construction requirements, construction operational standards, and then maintenance of the pipelines. And then just a bit of background. Again, this is an amendment to an approved conditional use permit for a pipeline that was approved on September 1st of 2020, and this was for approximately 19 miles in length. Here is a large aerial view. I wanted to just show you the 19 miles that was approved in 2020. That's the yellow dashed line that you can see kind of beginning east of Highway 85 here. And then really it runs along the majority of E470 to the west to about Colorado Boulevard, where it then jogs north and eventually ends up in Weld County. The additional 4 miles is this purple dashed line here that I'll show you a closer view of and change colors on you. So it's this dashed blue line here. It extends from 136th Avenue here east of Sable Boulevard, runs south to E470 right away, and then jogs to the west just west of Highway 85 and then back north, again connecting to the existing line and east 136th Avenue. The current zoning in this area is majority of it's zoned A3 with some A1 and A2 as well. The aerial view is located within the city of Brighton's jurisdiction. And then the future land use designation for the majority of this area is within the historic Splendid Valley, which calls out for estate residential as well as agricultural uses, and then some agriculture small scale to the northwest here. So as far as the operations goes, again, this was originally approved for 19 miles in length, so this would be in addition to those 19 miles. It carries produced water from as many as 15 existing oil and gas facilities, and 163 wells are connected to date via approximately 12 miles of those originally 19 approved miles. And this is, the applicant stated this has resulted in approximately 2.3 million barrels of produced water and eliminating approximately 14,000 water trucks on the road. So again, this amended portion is for 4 miles and would also incorporate 2 oil and gas well pads, those being the Adams Crossing and then the Edmondson facilities. The applicant has also confirmed that all landowner agreements with impacted property owners, which would total 4, have been signed and finalized, and then the remaining portion of the pipeline is within easements, and those agreements have also been finalized, which does also include E470 authority. And then the pipeline itself would be buried at a depth approximately 4 to 5 feet. And then again, there's also a development agreement accompanying this, and that covers multiple requirements such as pre-construction, compliance with referrals, submittal of construction and traffic control plans, and then also operational standards and again, ongoing maintenance of the pipeline. When looking at the criteria for approval, we look to see that it's permitted in the zone district, that it's consistent with the purpose of our regulations and complies with any applicable performance standards, that it's harmonious and compatible with the surrounding area. Any off-site impacts have been addressed, that overall the site is suitable for the proposed use, and that an adequate site plan has been provided, and adequate services are being provided if needed. There's also additional criteria that we look at as part of the areas and activities of state interest. There's a total of 25, so I didn't want to go through each of those. It is within the packet, but some of those just to highlight are documentation of property rights, that the project is technically and financially feasible, which the applicant has provided evidence of, that any natural hazards have been addressed, that it's consistent with the comprehensive plan, and that the financial impacts to any government or residents have been addressed as well. Just a couple photos of kind of where it connects on the eastern edge along 136. That's the photo on the left here, looking towards the south, towards E470. And then this photo again is from East 136, looking back to the south on that western end where it connects back up. During the referral period, we notified property owners and occupants within 1,000 feet of the entire length of the pipeline. A total of 113 notifications were sent, and we did receive one comment. That one public comment was neutral, but did have some questions regarding easement, construction impacts, and compensation. And the applicant has been in contact with that member of the public. The referral agencies responded with no objections. CDOT did require proper permits for work in right-of-way, which the applicant has addressed. And then the City of Brighton, the applicant has also been working with them to finalize the memorandum of understanding. And to my knowledge, that's also been finalized as well. This did go to Planning Commission on April 11th, 2024, and there was no public comment at that time. Planning Commission did recommend approval by a vote of 7-0. The request is also consistent with the surrounding areas, as well as the comprehensive plan and the development standards and regulations. This is an approved use with a conditional use permit within those A3 zoned properties that I showed you earlier. And this would also help to benefit the region with the overall reduction in traffic that I had mentioned. And the applicant has also stated or shown that this is financially feasible. So with that, staff recommends approval of the major amendment for RCU 2023-61 with 33 findings of fact, 1 condition, and 1 note. And staff is also recommending approval of the associated development agreement. And the 1 condition is that the applicant shall comply with those terms and conditions within that executed development agreement between Pioneer and Adams County. That concludes staff's presentation, and I'm available for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for staff? Commissioner Baca.
Yes, thank you. Can you restate the route again, especially that?
So just east of Sable Boulevard, along 136, and then it jogs south to E470, and then hangs within the right-of-way there to the west, just west of Highway 85, and then back north to 136.
Great, thank you so much.
So seeing no further questions, I do have one question, and it is at risk of stating the obvious. Are there any outstanding safety concerns that staff has about this proposal that still need to be addressed, or any lingering questions?
there were no safety concerns that staff noticed throughout the referral process of the pipeline.
Okay, thank you. At this point, it is the presentation of the applicant. Please come on down. If you have a presentation, you're welcome to start there. I see one being pulled up.
Thank you all. I'll apologize in advance. My voice is recovering from being sick about a week ago, so bear with me. Richard Opat, address is 561 Indian Hill Road, Chanhassen, Minnesota 55317. Thank you, Planner Eagleson, and thank you, Commissioners, for your time today. So as Planner Eagleson mentioned, so I want to talk a little bit about who we are, how we've got here, and then what we're requesting today. Pioneer Pipeline is a wholly owned subsidiary of PTC Energy. We're fully bonded with the ECMC, Adams County, and Weld County, and we have been for some time. We're fully staffed and operating. We talked about some of the statistics. I have some updated ones here in our presentation. But we've been operating safely with a fully staffed unit now for well over 2 years. So just a little update. Some of these numbers, I think what Planner Eagleson had is a little bit stale, not to his fault. We just had some developments and more water gathered over the last month since we've made this application. So to date, and this is actually about a month stale since our presentation to the Planning Commission, we've gathered roughly 2.8 million barrels of produced water, which actually translates to 17,000 trucks instead of 14, and then roughly 350,000 truck miles by calculation of what that would have been on the roads. Other than that, we had an event back about a year ago in April of 23. That single day, we kept 125 trucks off the road from a pad. So that was probably our high water mark, if you want to call it that. The intent of our project today is, you can see we have an approved CUP, that we had approved since 2020. That project had been substantially developed. What we're asking for now is an additional 4 miles that we kind of laid out there that kind of swoops down. And the real reason for that alignment is to gather some additional pads that weren't originally fully contemplated when it was approved in 2020. We find this route will be gather those additional pads and be hydraulically beneficial. It'll have less impact to the community and gather additional water. We already mentioned briefly the couple parties that do have easements, and those are worked out. A lion's share of this 4 miles is in the E470 MUE. So what are we seeking? We seek to just work with Adams County as we have previously to obtain approval so we can install and operate this additional 4 miles of pipe on top of the 12 miles that we already have in operation. We're very much prepared to move expeditiously. As mentioned on some previous projects here, staff's been extremely helpful through this process. And we're very equipped to move quickly, not only in the permit process, but on the construction thereafter. We have negotiated a new development agreement that is substantially exactly similar to the old development agreement with some additions. So that was when we went into this extension process, that was what we agreed, is that we would have one that looked the exact same with a couple of beneficial tweaks to the county. We are working on a City of Brighton MOU and development agreement. Again, this presentation is slightly stale in this area. That is substantially agreed to. I would have some other people speak to that if there are specific questions. And that governs about 2 miles of the system with Brighton. So really, this is around maximizing the benefit, adding on to the pipeline that's already provided the numbers and the benefits to the community that I've already mentioned. It's adding the 4 miles onto the 12 miles, continuing to gather water, continuing to keep trucks off the road. Effectively, all this development is happening in Adams County. Outside of that, the expansion is literally just to support these additional pads that weren't contemplated, as I mentioned. We've talked about the easements briefly. I want to touch on permits. So there are some permits that, of course, we could not apply for without, of course, the approval of this CUP extension. Outside of that, we've absolutely quantified all the needed permits, necessary permits, from traffic control to crossing, etc. So those are understood, and we're in the process. We're ready, on the ready to go ahead and get those submitted as soon as, presuming this is approved. A little bit about the development agreement and the standards. So we are going to continue to comply with the ECMC 1100 series rules, which are the rules, of course, that govern flow lines and pipelines of this nature. We'll continue to, of course, adhere to the development agreement as it stands and the additional development agreement that we'd be party to as a result of this. Additional things that are part of that development agreement that are somewhat above and beyond are construction hours. We don't work on Sundays, and we limit the construction to 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It would be my expectation on this project that we would even probably limit to 5 days, just because we are not in as much of a time situation as we were on the original development agreement. Following our build, we have requirements to submit GIS data of the exact as-built location of the pipeline to the county. We'll operate under, manage all of our stormwater where necessary under an approved stormwater management plan, which has also been submitted to staff and reviewed as part of this process. We always maintain a minimum of 4-foot cover on all of our lines. So everything here is buried. The few exceptions are on pad locations where we come up, of course, to put the water into the pipe. So everything else is buried actually in excess of what's required by the state with the ECMC regulations. One other thing that we do, not required on a pipeline of this nature, is we actively measure the water going into the pipeline and coming out of the pipeline. So real time, we know if there's any deviation. So if there should be any, I'll say, God forbid, a material leak, we would see that real time, and that's being monitored by our control room in Greeley. And last big pertinent point is the entire system has been constructed of HDPE, which is an industry standard for moving produced water across the United States, and stainless steel, both of which have superior corrosion resistance, not only to the pipe and the stuff in the pipe, but to the ground and the earth outside the pipe. So that was intentionally designed that way to avoid the need for any type of active corrosion protection on the outside of the pipe. It's not necessary with this engineered design. A little bit about timing. Pending the approval, of course, our intent is to move swiftly in June, July timeframe to get out and start building. Part of our right-of-way here is already on the original approved cup. It would, of course, be our expectation to have everything sort of in place and have all these permits lined out before we start work. So, again, the message here is just that we're ready to move expeditiously and have this project wrapped up by early Q4 before the snow flies is our expectation. This slide's really just talk about, our continued partnership now with the community. We do have a emergency response plan in place. We have now for 2 years since operation. That's kept evergreen as needed. If there's any changes to the system, if there's any changes to the operation of the system, we have submitted that as part of the process as well. That not to say once we're approved, as changes happen, it's on obligation upon us to keep that updated, and we will. There are, of course, markers along this entire pipeline with emergency phone numbers to call, and of course the ability to talk to us with any types of concerns around design or installation. And again, we want to be a good partner with the county and the residents. So in conclusion, I talked about these statistics a few times. I believe we've demonstrated over the last 2 years this has been very beneficial project to the community. I think it's been a success, as it was originally portrayed. It had taken a couple turns over COVID. When it got into execution and got into the team's hands, I think it's been a massive success. We intend to continue to cooperate, respond timely, and operate as we have with the county, with the residents of the community. And the intent here, as I said, is upon approval, is we pretty expeditiously get out, get those remaining permits, some of which are 20 to 30 day type estimated timelines, and get out and begin construction. Teams in place, materials are in place, and we're ready to move on that. Other than that, again, I already mentioned we have a full permitting team, some of which are here, that will go and execute on all the crossing permits, well suited in how to do that and work with staff on those items. With that, if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to take them or refer them to people who can answer.
Thank you, sir. Looking at my colleagues to see if we have questions for the applicant. No, I just have one question. Thank you for working so diligently to find ways to recycle water so that less fresh water is consumed by industry. We all know that fresh water is limited, especially here on the Front Range. And so your efforts to recycle water and use produced water are significant. And my one question would be, there's no way to really know fully in advance what's going to be in the water as it's traveling through your pipeline. I see that you have a number of safety protocols in the pipeline, as well as using higher grade materials to ensure that there's no leakage, and monitoring the weight of the water and the volume so that there's no leakage at either end. What is your plan, or do you have any documentation for decommissioning the line at some point 10 years from now, 30 years from now, when it has run its useful life, so that we have some reassurance that this line that carried water of, unknown toxicity through our community can be decommissioned in a safe way?
Yes, absolutely. I'll start with the two industry predominant ways that you would decommission a line of this nature. Number one is what they would call evacuating the line of any type of fluid that's in there today, replacing it with an inert product, which might be a nitrogen or a gas that'd be common in the air in our environment. And then you actually would take the ends anywhere that's exposed, and you would cap, bury those lines 4 foot below grade. recall these lines will be maintained and from the time they're constructed in the 811 system or the dig notification system. So in that circumstance, you have a line that's buried, it's inert, it's safe, it can't harm anybody, but of course it is still registered with the state in the system. That's one method. The second method is to fully remove the line from the ground. The ECMC regulations actually speak to this, and they in my interpretation is they put it back on the landowner in the specific land agreements. What I mean by that is, as this reaches the end of life, your development agreement and the individual landowner agreements effectively give the landowners the decision over what they would like to see at the time of abandonment, is how they would read. I don't know if Chris, if you want to speak, did you want to speak, or is that accurate, Chris? Okay. Okay, Chris is our landman, Chris Roberts. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. I actually, my personal opinion, working in industry for the number of years I prefer the prior. I think it, you don't have to go disturb the dirt again. You don't have to go reseed the dirt again. You don't have to give the opportunity for weeds or noxious weeds again. At that point in the life cycle, you don't really know that pipeline's even there anymore. And it's of no harm to the community, and it's of no detriment to bury it in place. And I find that to be the best method that's used in industry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I believe that concludes your presentation, unless you have something else.
No, I thank you for your time.
Okay, and again, I don't see anyone that isn't your team or staff, but if there's a hidden member of the public who would like to come down for a question or comment at this time, you would have 3 minutes. All right, so that concludes public comment. Colleagues, do we have any question, comments, or a motion?
Madam Chair, I move for approval of the major amendment RCU 2023-61 with 33 findings of fact, 1 condition, and 1 note.
I'll second that.
I guess I should probably also state, staff also recommends approval of the associated development agreement.
So, attorneys, how do you want us to handle that? Last comments from Deputy County Attorney Christy Fitch.
Only Assistant County Attorney, but thank you for giving me a promotion.
Well, you know,
you
could stay. We could discuss things.
So we can do it in one motion: approval of the major amendment with 33 findings of fact, 1 condition, and 1 note, as well as approval of the associated development agreement. That's perfectly fine.
Great.
Want me to restate it?
Attorney, I feel like Commissioner Tedesco covered it. Okay.
Okay.
So let's vote. This passes unanimously. Thank you. Congratulations. Best of luck with your construction. And that concludes our meeting.